Hello guys, I'm back again with one more topic, dependency injection. My main motive in this video would be to explain dependency injection in less amount of a time with including both theory and practical because we need practical also to learn about it. And I'm just going to answer two questions. Why is it actually needed and how can we use dependency injection? This second question consists of practical, so it would be very much fun. So first actually if you think why Spring actually needs dependency injection, because to develop big applications using Spring MVC and Spring Boot, dependency injection is very much necessary. Because what we want to do, we want to focus more on a business logic, like how to implement things and how to put if and else statements so that our statement or our code becomes very much useful. But what we are hindered, what stops us? And I would say the main culprit is only one thing. Configurations are actually very much a hindrance to our process, because who wants to do basic configurations again and again and again in our code? And why is that really necessary? If we can use dependency injection, we could reduce this thing, configuration at the max. So what can we do to reduce the configuration? That's where dependency injections come to use. So if you ask me what is dependency injection in this question, let's try to figure it out with an example. I know we all like cars, but have you ever thought that why car is such a well structured and maintained thing that it rarely gets totaled or even gets needs reparation often? Because a car consists of many items, or say I would say accessories. Like suppose I have a Tata Nano. Okay, this is a Nano company car, so it should be good, right? Yes, this should be good. But we don't know what parts does Tata Nano have, do we? If we take a closer look, Tata Nano can consist of many things. It's tires, okay, then it's seats, driving wheel. If we consider all these things, it is very natural to believe that car has all those parts. But have you ever wondered from where all these parts come? Yes, Tata Nano is a Tata car, but who knows? They are importing tires from MRF, or seats of leather from BMW. Maybe I don't think they would afford it, but let's just take a guess from BMW, and driving wheels of Volkswagen. So all these things a car needs are of different companies. So do you think that after every car is made, they have to be manually put from all the companies one after another and just put? No, I would rather say that they would have made a contract deal with, like say, MRF tires, that whenever car is made, it inject that tire into our cars to get tires in a large quantity somewhere stored in a Tata manufacturing unit where Nano is produced, and whenever needed a Tata car is produced, we can use that tires to inject in our Tata Nano car. Similar is dependency injection. Whenever we create a class and we need its attributes, we need its objects and different things, instead of creating it once again and just declaring it and making our code complicated, we could use dependency injection, which uses a container to get those class, to get those attributes and inject it in our objects. Let's understand using a code. So this is a basic Spring starter project. We are going to use web service of Spring Web. Let's wait till it's completely loaded, and till that time let's answer our question. Why is it actually needed? The first point which comes to my mind is obviously it makes developers job easy. Second, I would say that whenever we need a change in a project, we don't actually need to alter whole code. We could just alter the part which we need in the change. So this will create the very much specific environment for developers, and whenever change is needed we could change that specific part. Like we don't have to change the entire Tata Nano car, we could just change the tire. Instead of giving the contract to MRF, we could give it to CET, and that is very easy job, I think. And third, and I believe dependency injection is also needed to inject things whenever we need to test things. It is also used in testing. Now let's see how we can include dependency injection in our code. The first step, I would say that if we need to inject Tata Nano's tires, MRF tires in Tata Nano, we need to store the tires somewhere. So for that, in our code also, we would create a container, okay, where we could store our beans. Now if you ask me what is beans, just consider beans like a real life beans, but they are compressed form of our objects or classes. So let's say a bean is something which is storing the information of our code which we need. Okay, the second step would be, I believe, the second step would be to fetch those beans. Third, tell the Spring where the beans should be found and created. Now enough of theory, let's jump into all these points and create a dependency injection in our code. I'm going to keep it very simple. The first step should be create a container where we could store our beans. Now I have created this project. Let's go into source, main and demo. Okay, so this is demo file. Okay, for now let's ignore what is Spring Boot application and all these annotations. We will come to it one by one. Just now we want to see the application of dependency injection. Suppose I have a class of car like we discussed in right now, car nano. Okay, just try to see what errors are coming. Okay, it is saying there is no car. Okay, let's create a class car. As you can see, a car class has been created. Let's put a method in this. What method should we put? Let's say it is public void drive. Makes quite a sense. Car should drive. And let's say Tata Nano is on road. Makes quite a sense, right? Okay. Now Tata Nano is created. Wow, it is showing no error right now, but it is also showing that you have not used nano. Okay, so let's see. We should just do what it's saying, right? So we say nano dot drive. Looks like I've made a spelling mistake here. It should be drive. Okay, now what it's saying? It is saying that okay, the error is nano is not initialized. Yes, I believe that is true, because whenever we want to create a object we need to initialize it. So let's initialize it saying new car. Works fine, but here's our problem. We don't want to use new car every time because this is very cumbersome. Do you think developer has a time and always if he wants to update he would go on to always create a new object of the same particular type class car needed? And it is very cumbersome if we come into develop high level program applications. So what we can do, we could tell Spring, hey, you can handle this. Just go to your container and fetch the bean of a car and give it to me. Okay, that sounds complicated, but I think we have discussed the solution. Okay, the first solution is create a container where we could store our beans. So the container is present and we could use that, if we say in layman languages, using application context interface. Yes, as you can see. Okay, let's give it a name, container, right? Okay, so we need first implement the application context container. Now we have a container, so can we say right now, okay Nano, from my container get me bean. So get bean is actually a method from application context interface. Okay, so what do we need to paste here? Okay, it says class type, required type. Okay, which class do you require? We require car. So we could say car dot class. We need to specify. Okay, as you can see, there are no more error right here. So what we did actually, first we created a container variable from application context interface, and then we use the container to get the bean of car.class. So if you are wondering what is happening in the backend, so when I created application context container, the Spring used this car as a component. Let me declare it as a component. Okay, so when component is declared, so when Spring scans for the project to goes through our main files, it sees there's a component annotation, which means that this is part of our project and we need to make a class for it. So Spring has created a class of component and created a bean for it, and that bean is stored in a container. So how awesome is that? It just sees the annotation component, okay, and its work is done. So we could say that component is used to tell Spring to make a bean of this class. How awesome is that? And when we tell to fetch it the get bean, it is fetching us that class car.nano and it is initialized. So you can see that right now, you would say right now that this is even more complicated, but trust me, in future you would say that it's better when we use more annotations. We don't even need to use getBean method. So okay, now nano.drive, should this work? Let's try out. We will run it as Spring Boot app. Oh, you can see the output. Tata Nano is on road. So this is the magic of dependency injection. We are not actually creating using new method. We are using container of Spring to do the work for us. We just configured it a little bit, but we can implement the more logic from this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to watch and learn the theory from official web pages of Spring. It would give you more of an idea. Thank you.